brands of Oreos, even though they're like owned by 3 companies that price fix.
That's
right?
Neoliberalism is when all the Oreos are owned by 3 companies? Is that neoliberalism? Neoliberalism is when all the ice cream flavors are all at Baskin Robbins?
Okay. I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
They basically control all matter of commodities, and those markets are completely captured. But
captured? What do you mean by captured? As in,
there's this idea that there are, you know, this endless, boundless amount of choices that you can choose from. On the other side, the more authoritarian mechanisms of control, which have existed
What's your opinion?
I like the neoliberal one. I think that even in a socialist state, you should still very much give the people the false notion of choice and make it feel like they have a say in the process while doing the bidding of. I mean, it's a pretty cynical worldview, but I think that, you know, that's what states are supposed to do.
Let me ask you this.
And that will create a structure where there are significantly less people who are like, I hate the system right now. I don't feel happy. I don't feel good in the system that I exist under. So I should, you know, do counter-revolutionary capitalist reforms.
Well, and likewise, I don't think there's that many people in Sweden or Norway who are saying, no, we need to move to a pure socialist because everybody there is provided. I don't
True.
Think large, I'm
True.
No, you're absolutely right. You're actually 100% correct.
So like
some Orthodox Marxists actually hate the welfare state for this reason because the.
Why does Ethan tweak out so much? I believe that Ethan has Tourette's, so that's why you kind of see him make like weird jerking motions and sometimes, as that's part of his Tourette's syndrome.
Welfare state is a continuation of capitalism by offering offering certain amenities.
Seems like
the liberal capitalism has thrived and has created a structure where like the inherent contradictions that exist under capitalism that I think everyone would agree with, including yourself. Those inherent contradictions become a little bit more muddied, and they never end up getting to a point where they converge and capitalism erodes into some socialist formation.
Let me be, I guess, more specific. If you're in a socialist country, is there one party or multiple parties?
It depends. I mean,
hey, let's look at Vietnam.
Don't forget.
Because one.
Hey, let's look at China. Oh, it depends. Imagine having to say it depends. In capitalism, in liberal societies, you're given false choice when all the ice cream manufacturers are really ran by 3 ice cream makers. Oh, how many political parties do you get in a socialist system?
Party's scary, right? Can we agree on that? A one-party system is not a good system.
I think you and I would agree that we.
No, I'm just asking you. I don't care about the United States. I'm asking you about socialism.
I think that there are different forms of governance, and the United States.
God, he's such a weasel. Does his audience see him weaseling? Do you think? I think one party would be bad. Well, there are different forms of governance.
States is not that different.
I don't care about the United States. I just want to talk about a socialist
I think that no matter what happens, the state does what the state is supposed to do. You can either
what a non-answer.
Do it at the behest of your citizens because you genuinely, earnestly believe that like that is the best possible way of developing a society, or you do it at the behest of capital owners and capitalism.
But you're saying you don't think it matters if there's one party or...
I don't think it matters as far as I care about direct democratic participation in local in local
one-party systems with socialism.
How can you answer that way? Imagine saying, because the whole center point for the whole like quasi wannabe democratic cuck bullshit is that, well, democracy, what democracy in the workplace. Now, after complaining that there are only 3 different Oreo makers, now you're going to complain that, or now you're going to make the claim that it doesn't matter how many political parties exist?
More communism has pretty much always been a catastrophe,
yeah,
a humanitarian disaster.
No, I agree with that.
There's just so much risk in having one party.
I agree with that. I think that a multi-party system is obviously going to be better.
Oh, now he says it. A minute or two after bullying from Ethan, he finally says it. Okay.
The point is that it doesn't even matter if you have a parliament. It doesn't even matter if you have a multi-party system. The changes that are being made in one direction or the other are oftentimes incredibly marginal.
Yeah, that's how systems work, by marginal incremental change. Welcome to every parliamentary, congressional, government thing ever. Yeah, that's for stability. That's what you kind of need, incremental change. No country would work if everything was dramatically changing every fucking 2 months.
Yeah.
And the differences are not born out of like, you know, the party disagreements. The differences are born out of like genuine material conflict, like even including like the Civil War. It's never like the kindness of people's, or like one party of individuals being like, we are kind, we want to do good things, and the other side is bad.
Because you're not supposed to be kind and doing good things. You're supposed to be representing your constituents. Congress and Parliament and executive leadership, it's not about kindness. It's about doing what the people that voted for you want.
And they want to do bad things.
So what I want to say was this then. If you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely exist.
Yeah.
What would you do if that party started gaining momentum? And it was clearly like people...
Oh my God, Ethan is asking such a question. You murder them all! Say it! You kill them all! You kill everybody. That's what the leftists do. That's what Mao did. That's what they did after the Bolshevik Revolution to other lefties. That's what you do in a leftist country. When you take over, you kill all the other people. That's what happens.
Wanted that.
That's what the Nazis did when they took power. When they were working with the lefties, they killed the lefties there. Now the Nazis weren't lefty, but like, yeah, when you are an illiberal party, when you don't believe in liberalism and you gain power, the first thing you do is you kill everybody else that opposes you or has any actual parliamentary threat to you, parliamentary, democratic, whatever kind of threat, whatever governmental threat.
Route. They wanted that route.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I think I would.
No
do
way!
what
I dodged
Americans
it.
have done.
I dodged
Oh my God, he's such a pussy. How can you be this tall and eat that much chicken and be such a pussy-ass little fucking bitch? He's actually such a pussy. Can we get like some 4'8" midget here that Hassan can press so that he can get some of his fucking confidence back? God, he's such a weak-willed individual. Oh my God. Say it with your fucking chest. Holy shit.
To the same
Which is
degree.
what?
Not to the same degree as like you know, McCarthy's trials or anything like that.
So you would trial them? You'd convict them of crimes? You bring up McCarthy? McCarthyism, the guy that hunted down everybody for communism? Does Ethan know the reference of what you're saying right now?
But I would offer additional amenities to ensure that people are comfortable and happy, because I feel like any
But what do
kind
you
of
do if they're like, nah, fuck that, we're doing capitalism?
Yes. Yes.
if everything is given to you,
Yeah.
at that point, if every single thing is given to you, if all of your problems are solved, which I think we can both agree is not under capitalism and has not happened.
No.
If all of those problems have been solved, then there is no need for conflict of that regard.
But they're saying,
should
no,
come
we
to an
want to do, because they're like, yo, this is a free country, right? Well, we want to do capitalism. We think the market should regulate the prices and shit. Like,
It would
we don't
always-
think the workplace should be socialized.
Okay, that's a great question.
And what about
You have to ask why though at that point,
Oh
because
my God.
Well,
But he
people
won't
never can be
answer.
explained by why anyway.
Hassan won't
You know what
answer
I
the
mean?
question.
people are gonna be dumb. You're right.
It's like you don't. It's just gonna exist. you
Hassan
know
won't
it.
answer because the question is you would kill them. Just say it. That's what you would do. You would kill people who are opposing you in your illiberal regime. If liberals come up and you're illiberal, you would kill them. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And so if the will of the people is to go back and to do more of a social democracy, is that something that a socialist country should move towards, or should there be resistance to the government to keep socialism?
I think the resistance should be akin to how capitalist governments have resisted historically any kind of socialist movement, not to that same degree of violence, but I think that yes, the solution to that would always be education and
Re-education camps?
offering more
Re-education?
Fuck.
re-education, certainly, yeah.
Somebody give me the clip of that one loser who's like, we would house our comrades in re-education camp. Somebody please give me the clip. Please give me the clip.
I know that that's like a
Let's put
trigger
them in
word.
camps.
No, not like that. I know there's a
Not the camps. Oh, no.
trigger word because everyone goes, oh, re-education. What do you mean? Like immediately people think like, are you talking about like resident schools? Are you talking about Xinjiang? Yeah, 100%. They do. They do it. They did it in Xinjiang, which I think
good, right?
No, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't think it was good. This is something I have openly criticized as well. Like that's not good. The massive surveillance apparatus they built in Xinjiang is not good.
So what would be good about a socialist re-education camp for capitalists?
It wouldn't necessarily. I don't think it'd be camps. I mean, it depends.
Well, it wouldn't be Oh my God, I don't hate him. I don't hate Hasan. What I hate are all of the mind-numbingly retarded fucking fans that can watch him squirm like this and not think that it's the most. You literally have you've got like the drunken Dayquil master over here, okay, Ethan, asking the most innocuous questions, and Hasan is acting like he's getting pressed in front of like a fucking Senate Judiciary Committee, and he's like under oath, and he's like committed like 50 million crimes he's trying to hide from the United States. Like it's actually appalling.
It depends on crime, right? Like, are people committing crimes at the behest of this? Because if there's a socialist state and someone is doing like white terror, let's say, or someone is doing South Korean style, purges of communists, which has happened historically in every country that America.
Sorry, hold on. We just skipped so much shit. This stupid. My synergy froze. Oh, this is the
But rather than
this is the clip. Hold on. This is what they want to do.
Abandoning the diagnosed or untreated mental illness will be substantially lower. It's a sad fact that some violent or predatory individuals may never be capable of entering back into society. But rather than abandoning these people, we must do our best to give them the best possible chance at recovery and reform with the hopes of eventually re-entering society. In situations where re-entry does seem possible, care must be taken to monitor and assist these reformed individuals to preempt relapse or deception and to ensure that the patient successfully emerges back into wider society. Reactionaries and counter-revolutionaries would be treated in a very similar manner. How we deal with former capitalists, fascists, and other such oppressors will be one of the great tests of anarchist society. Great care must be taken to treat them compassionately and humanely, giving them every opportunity to join our society as active and productive comrades, starting by treating them like any other comrade with special circumstances. Rather than ship deposed class enemies off to inhumane gulags or otherwise seek out revenge, they should be placed in reform centers where they are able to live in comfort and benefit from counseling and education, teaching them about the benefits of our new society. Some may never be willing to give up their abuses, and these die-hard oppressors would need to be secluded, perhaps indefinitely. But capitalists and reactionaries who demonstrate a willingness to re-enter society on equal footing should be given every opportunity to learn, grow, and eventually rejoin our community in peace.
Bro, somebody link this to Ethan. That's what Hasan wants.
Well, would probably be a lot better than like, a prison structure where they have slavery like in the United States of America.
I'm still a little bit confused about the ideal mechanism of a socialist country, where people still have individual freedoms to like form, to assemble,
but not
and
capitalists.
It can also be like, yeah, I'm a capitalist, so what? And we're trying to grow our movement. I don't understand the organization of the socialist free country, because it seems to me to have a socialist country, there needs to be some amount of dampening of,
freedoms. Yes, that is illiberal. Correct.
Right.
Well,
because like, for what I said.
Yes and no, because my point is always the same. It's that this is a constant. This is consistent. What you're describing is consistent with the American formation. It's consistent with capitalism. It's just a reality that will always exist. Mm-hmm. Violence, and who gets to do violence, is an inherent part of politics, because politics is, at the end of the day, a distribution of resources and a distribution of violence. Who gets to have what resources and who doesn't have the resources as a consequence of that. And if they do something to get those resources, what the state will be able to do. The state has a monopoly on violence across the board, no matter what happens, right? I'm not an anarchist. A lot of anarchists will get mad at me for saying this, but the state should have some level of a violent mechanism, because no matter what happens, and there's different forms of violence as well. The structural violence of poverty, or direct violence in the form of military, boots on the ground military warfare, imperialism, police violence, police brutality. These are all different forms of violence.
There will be some exertion of force required to maintain a socialist country.
Yes, not just a social country, any country.
Sure, any country.
Yes, I agree. Until we reach a point of
mass education, where everybody is
Bing Chiling production.
Bing Chiling.
And our productive output has gotten to a point where it's so streamlined and so organized that there is no need for a state. But I don't know if we will ever be able to get there, where the state withers away. We have a classless, borderless, moneyless society.
I mean, if it is, it's not in a long time.
Techno-communist.
It'll have to be like post World War III or something. Let me ask you, I guess, another angle here. Worker exploitation seems to be at the heart of socialism and
These
communism.
young socialists want
And
to
so I
overthrow
want to ask you this
capitalism and
question.
usher in an authoritarian socialist state because the aesthetic is cool.
Cool.
Employee is fairly compensated, and by fairly I mean that factors like work, compensation, they're being paid well beyond the means of living. They can afford comfortable housing, food, pleasure, vacation, savings, all the things people would want to do with money. If they're provided in all those ways that we see as important, is that still exploitation?
In the Marxian sense, yes. In the capitalist sense, no. Capitalism is
Mark, when you say Marxism, you're talking about socialism.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, in the Marxist perspective, under Marxian economics, Marxist theory, exploitation is not a good or bad thing. It is just a thing that happens.
Okay.
And it goes back to something I've described many, many times over, which is that there are two classes. There is the labor class, the wage laborers, the proletariat, and the bourgeois class, the capital owning class, right? And these two classes have two inherently contradictory interests. You work jobs when you had a boss and someone was paying you, and you have been a boss, so you have gone through both of these stages. So as someone who worked in a job, as a wage laborer, as a W-2 employer, 1099 contractor, you wanted to work the least amount of hours for the most amount of pay.
Wow.
That's understandable. That's like perfectly reasonable, right?
Yep.
Like you want more money and you want to work less hours. You want to have more freedom. Your boss, on the other hand, wants you to work the most amount of hours for the least amount of pay, like that they can get away with.
Yeah.
So this inherent contradiction is at the heart of capitalism and is how commodities are produced under a capitalist mode of production. Now, when you have this imbalance, those who do have capital end up always being able to pay you much less than your actual output.
So that is what's happening now.
Yeah.
My question is, in a situation, as I outlined, where the employees are fairly provided for, which I outlined before, is that when I say exploitation, I mean, like, I think that also has a vernacular, like when the ruling class is committing some kind of harm or injustice on their workers.
No, it's beyond that. You could be paying your employees fairly and still engage in the act of exploitation.
So then, because I don't want to get caught up on that, because you're saying
Right.
exploitation is neutral by its
Yes,
definition.
exploitation in the Marxian sense is not good or bad. It's just descriptive. A lot of what Marx has talked about with
But so
respect
what
to
does he mean
capitalism
then?
is descriptive.
So what does he mean then when he goes the exploitation of workers? Clearly, he wants to end the exploitation of
Yes,
workers.
of course.
So is it still exploitation of workers if they're fairly provided for?
Yes,
It is.
because the fairness in this regard is not met on the metrics of like living standards, but instead on the metrics of what their output is. So when and this gets into the labor theory of value,
Excuse me,
right?
goddamn.
The labor theory of value, which is different than marginal utility, which is what we use currently when we ascribe when we say this is this much, like something is this valuable, right? Ice cream is $4, but if it's really hot out, maybe ice cream is $5 because, well, there's a little bit of scarcity on the supply, but the demand has gone up. So now ice cream is more expensive. Whereas from a Marxian perspective, the value of that ice cream is stable. It's just what kind of labor went into the production of it, what were the resources used to make that ice cream, what kind of capital was put into the ice cream factory,
So even
all
if
of
the
that,
employee
and then also the moving part.
What if it's like really hot outside and the employees have to work harder that day? Wouldn't the cost increase?
That situation would be the labor of it.
If the employee is extremely satisfied,
Yeah.
and they feel well provided for, I mean, in a sense, it's like, who are you to tell him he's being exploited?
Well, you're
Again, I
you're
know
saying
you
that
want to
again
get caught up on that,
because
the
it's not-
definition of that word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's what I would say in that situation is this, right? Relying on the magnanimous nature of your boss and hoping that like your boss doesn't succumb to greed and choose to change certain things about your workplace conditions can be great. And there are people like yourself out there who are, as far as I understand, pretty good bosses, right? But that is never going to be that's never going to be the constant. That's never going to be the case.
But in social democracy, you set up the bumpers, you set up the systems where they have to do that. Well, that's the bare minimum they have to do.
Well, and then we go back to the erosion of the amenities.
I don't feel like that's a strong enough argument to say socialism is better.
No, as long as there is some kind of capitalist compensation in any sort of sector, they will always choose to monopolize. This is what most companies, like this is what every company does. When they become a company, a corporation, their goal is to inevitably become a monopoly. You can do that by rent seeking.
Well, so what? So what? If they still have to follow the rules.
Well, no. When you are becoming a monopoly,
Yeah.
you are either engaging in horizontal integration and expansion or vertical integration and expansion, mergers, acquisitions, and you know what Amazon has done, for example, in e-commerce is a great example of this. And when you get to that point, especially under a capitalist state that still has market reforms, you end up using the additional capital that you've accumulated in the form of profits from your workers to lobby the government and erode the safety nets.
But you're talking like it's a guaranteed. And again, I go
It
back.
has been a guarantee every single time.
And it's been a guarantee by the same metric that any socialist country devolves into disaster. I mean, it's not fair to put that out there like it's just given. Because on the other flip coin, you can say, this, like I mentioned, socialism. There's going to be people moving towards capitalism.
So socialist nation states,
it's too hypothetical.
Socialist nation states, however, historically, most of them at least, have not eroded or been destroyed due to like people who are just like, I want to be capitalist. Usually those people are being goaded or supported, facilitated by a much more powerful nation.
Nobody could naturally desire free markets or liberalism. They always have to be externally motivated for it. Oh, okay.
That is using the inherent greed to their advantage to cause divisions. But the real material issues in socialist nation states, historical socialism, real socialism in the real world that has happened, has always been due to mishaps, famine, or the government exercising too much authoritarian control.
Yeah, you can say the same thing.
These sorts of things are the real reasons as to why socialist nation states have failed, not necessarily their economic mode of production switching over to a more labor-focused economy. And then also, there are so many different types of socialist developments, like a socialist mode of production, that there is no like one absolute perfect one. And I'd be a liar if I told you I know which one it is. You know what I mean?
So go back to the original question. Let's just ignore this theory that in social democracy, and I'll say this, obviously we have antitrust laws that are not good, that are not been effective in the least bit.
Yeah,
but
I would
also
ask
something
you why.
You can regulate.
No, but I would ask you why.
Well, because our government is super corrupt.
Why is the government corrupt?
Not the
Because
best pick.
people
Oh, no.
are inherently flawed.
You think the government's corrupt because people are inherently flawed? Corruption in that sense, I disagree with you there.
Some people, not all people. That's another thing I said. People are inherently greedy and people lost their mind. Some people are. Actually, I want to talk about that at better length, but go ahead.
That's actually a great take as well. We can cover that as well.
Yeah.
I always butcher this quote, but I forget who it was. It might have been Mark Fisher, might have been someone else. But assuming that greed is inherent in human nature under a capitalist organization of the economy is like assuming the black lung is inherent in nature if you work at the fucking coal mine.
See, that's not a good analogy.
Because no, you're
in my
right.
opinion.
Greed is a part of it. Self-interest is a part of it. Not greed necessarily, but self-interest is a part of human existence. Why we have built societies, and how we've done it. However,
it's a biological survival mechanism.
However,
if we didn't have self-interest, we wouldn't survive as a species.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. My argument always, and many Marxist arguments actually, have always been around individualism and self-interest, and how socialism, as a matter of fact, creates more opportunities for individual liberties for the person. It's only been sold and told to people as though it is, this gray, brutalist architecture, city blocks. You have to, do your government-mandated coal mining job or whatever the fuck. But the ultimate goal has always been to open up more individual liberties. I'll give you an example of socialization that you and I both agree with, right? Healthcare. Nationalized healthcare or socialized medicine in general gives you more liberties as a person that you can actually leave your job.
That would happen in a social democracy as well.
Yes. However, like I've said, there has to be the countermeasures in a social democracy the capitalist forces are significantly more powerful because ultimately the state is still operating as a capitalist state. That is still the norm.
So I think we're having like a kind of just like a disconnect, or not a disconnect, but maybe at an impasse on that idea. But what I'll say, I want to give you a specific example because this is interesting to me. Let's just take this workplace as an example because we're all familiar with it. So I started my career 10 plus years ago, and I was successful by myself with 0 employees.
Yes.
I made a lot of money. I did well for myself. And then, 5 years ago into my career, I made a podcast, which obviously you all are watching now. So let's say we go back to 5 years ago when I hired Dan as a freelance. You started as like a consultant.
Yeah, or a freelancer. Yeah.
And obviously you moved to full-time, and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So he started as like a freelance consultant. So what would be a fair way of compensating him for that?
Ooh, employment under socialism. Uh-oh, good luck.
in your situation, it's like, what is the most like socialist way of doing it? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, because that's what we're talking about, right?
It would be profit sharing. What that means is
profit sharing is not really socialist, but you know, that's not the worst answer you could give. That's not the worst answer you could give.
So this is interesting.
So
Hold on.
This is interesting. You're right.
Yeah.
This is actually the most difficult aspect, in my opinion, of like
the most difficult aspect of socialism is figuring out how to hire people.
Trying to create the most ethical way of existing under a capitalist organization of the economy.
It's not hard under capitalism to exist as a socialist, by the way. You can organize a company in whatever structure you see fit. Nobody's keeping you from doing otherwise.
You are also productive.
Would there be anything better? Technically, a more socialist way would be if somebody wants to work for your company, they need to buy into the company so that they're cooperative owners, so that as the company increases or decreases value, which is going to be relational to the labor that they put into it, you as an employee get to enjoy the benefits of that. That's the fruits of your labor, is the increase of the value of the company. And then because you have a part ownership in it, you get to increase your ownership stake as well, basically. Isn't that profit sharing? No, profit sharing is when you're paid back. Profit sharing is not an equity stake in the company. That's just like a reimbursement for a good year, a cut of the revenue.
And you're
royalties versus equity.
You're doing like an owned and operated media company where you are the product.
So I hired Dan as a consultant.
Yeah.
Just to help us out to get things.
And I have hired
beautified.
people as well.
So then I'm profit sharing with him. How much profit am I sharing?
So the way I do it, and I think this will be. I mean, this is instructive for many others as well. The way I do it, like the most ethical way to do it, is basically
what Hassan does is instructive for others. Oh my god. Before, now on that Tanky show, he's like, bro, we're just like YouTubers. We don't do shit. But now when Ethan is pressing him, well, hold on. I'm going to act in a way that's instructive to others.
Oh, no way, I does
now
that.
He's got to be like a big role model. Okay. Hello? What's up?
Dude.
Hi?
I have two things to say about Hassan and what he's saying.
Okay, go for it.
I think one of the I think the reason he supports these like Marxist ideas is because he's a money-hungry, fame-hungry jackass, and he just doesn't like the idea of people making more money than him. And these sorts of Marxist viewpoints would just create a society where other people can't out-earn him.
Okay, that's definitely a take.
Yeah. Secondly, like the Marxist theory of value is fucking stupid. Like what Hassan keeps doing and what a lot of Marxists do is they ignore the fact that labor itself is a commodity, and I think you pointed it out before that if it's really hot out and employees are working harder, that would like basically increase the cost of their labor. You know,
sure, although big like labor theory of value guys are gonna have ways to account for this, but yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I'm sure you're part of the Ask Yourself community, right?
Not exactly. I don't really hang out in his Discord.
Oh, because I know they've got a couple of big LBT guys or LTV guys that will sit there and argue about Marxist shit. So, but I don't know. Okay. All right, I'm going back to listen to this.
Okay, take care.
To make an assessment. Sure, there's market considerations on the one hand, like what the normal wage would look like, but that is like the minimum. You know what I mean? That is like the minimum. That is the worst possible amount to pay someone in the form of wages, in my opinion.
Okay.
So you have the market considerations on the one side, which I don't necessarily care too much about. On the other side, you have your productive output, right? Let's say you were making $10 before Dan came on, and now that Dan came on, you're making...
That wouldn't be measurable.
No, I know.
Wow, the DJ, thanks for giving 5 comments.
Oh, I know. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I know. Which is why I'm saying it's a tricky situation.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. Well,
ask yourself, Mullen. Wait, over what? Why do you even have this as ready to link?
I'm listening.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Fuck you. Are you fucking retarded or something? Do you hear me speaking? Stop talking! Now.
Well, technically, the other side is also very cruel, but we just like have normalized.
Because in social democracy, people are fairly compensated. It's not cruel. That's my opinion.
No, I don't think I think we
people
think
could be
of
more
social
or
democracies,
more
we think of social
fairly,
democracies-
less fairly compensated, but like generally speaking, they'd be more fairly compensated than what you would see today.
Yes, in
But
comparison to the United States of America, which technically would be a mixed market or social democracy, social democracies in other countries, there's better compensation.
So here's the unintended consequence of that.
Due to, regulation, government regulation.
If I'm just hiring Dan to come in and help me with cameras and stuff, and I have to cut him in on profit share, people are not going to hire as many people.
No.
They're going to think a lot more before they bring more people on.
Well, can I just chime in real quick? Just to clarify this point, are you still talking about the period of time where I was working as a contractor?
Yes. I haven't got to the full time yet. Well, we're going to move to that.
Right. I will just say that at the time, I was essentially operating as my own business as well, because you weren't my only client at the time.
Right. Okay.
I did that professionally for a lot of people, and you were one of many people that I would come and do shows with until you offered me a full-time thing. So just because we're using the specific example, I just wanted to clarify that, because I think that matters in what the dynamic was when we were initially working together.
I don't think that matters in such that I'm more focused just on the profit
So
sharing.
the reason why I was bringing
and
up
the implications on to a business and business owner of that.
Okay, but the reason why I was bringing up the revenue is because let's say you were making you're making $10. Dan comes on, now you're making $15.
Yeah.
Right? Dan has brought in $5 extra of revenue for you, and I think that the best possible way to engage with that would be to cut Dan in on offer Dan living wages plus whatever Dan has brought in the form of revenue.
Here's a big problem.
And that moves into direction like you make, and then later down the line you make.
Imagine ever trying to track this shit ever. Imagine you bring in Dan, and what Dan does is he helps your people schedule appointments more efficiently. So Dan comes in, you were making $1 million a year, now you're making $1.2 million a year. But it's not just because Dan's scheduling people; those other people are also doing more work. How the fuck do you ever track this type of value add? How would you ever do it? Like with more, imagine doing this with 3 employees, let alone like 100.
Fuck. $100,000, and now Dan is moving with it as well.
Here's where this seems more like it's a nice theory, but like in application it makes no sense. Who decides how much value he's brought? How could you possibly decide that? If my show is growing, Dan joins, let's say I now am making $15. But the show was organically growing. How can I attribute all 5 of that to Dan?
You're absolutely correct on this as well. This is a big weakness.
50-50 with him?
This is something that I do not have an answer for either, which is why, like I said, you make do with you try to do your very best.
Can I be? This seems like a big problem to say you don't have a solution for. If you're
hiring employees, you don't know how to do hiring. That seems to be a pretty, and this is the whole central part of your theory is better employment. That's a pretty big issue. Like.
For a socialist society.
I agree, which is why I always.
It doesn't seem like it's ready.
Well, can I just chime in on this?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
This isn't theoretical. There are lots of companies that do profit sharing.
I do this
a little bit.
Not like this, homie.
Oh, not what I meant to do.
What major company does profit sharing like this? Companies might give you stock options or even like allow compensation in the form of stock. That's the closest you're gonna. Some companies might do bonuses. Some companies might pay on commission, but like profit sharing like this.
What do you got going on today?
No.
I know, but it's not like. But like they say this,
and they have various methods of how they do it.
The way
there are ways to do it that make sense.
I do,
but the way that socialism does it in the purest sense.
And then I'm going out to the suburbs in a little bit.
Gotcha. Why? What's in the suburbs?
Pumpkin muffins from my friend's mom.
Oh, love pumpkin muffins. People call me a pumpkin muffin sometimes.
Yeah, no, her mom made them for me, so I gotta be there. I gotta get them.
Ah, fuck! Damn it.
What are you playing?
You know, Liza P.
You stream it on Discord?
On Twitch. I mean, on YouTube.
Okay, I was gonna say back on Twitch. But yeah, no, I do want to wait like fucking at least a couple hours before I drive because right now it's gonna take like an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah. Oh god damn it. Okay, this is not the run, obviously. I got whacked too many times at the very beginning. Oh fuck, it's gonna piss. How? Are you fucking kidding me? I barely touched it. Jesus Christ. Oh fuck, did not see that overhand. Son of a bitch. Drop my dog off at the groomers. Need to pick her up soon-ish, later, like in an hour or two.
How much does that cost?
The groomer?
Yeah.
$90. She needs it though. She got really long hair, you know, and she gets super messy because of her long hair. I'd rather just chop it all off. Chop. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my mom has a dog that's a similar size, and they just turn into like a shag ball.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. Got too greedy. What the hell? I just got a phone call, then it hung up immediately. Maybe the groomer. I think it's the groomer. Fuck. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, she's ready in 20 minutes. Just okay. That's fine. All I need is 20 minutes to beat this guy.
Man, this tutorial, like, when, I don't know who the guys were that were in the chat last night, but when they were talking about the timing for this game now, for MK1, I'm doing the tutorial right now, and it is, like, very input heavy. Not that the other games haven't been, but less so, I would say, for sure. Like in the previous games, there was never anything that said you have to time like all of your button inputs right if you want to hit the combo on time. And then after you input it, you're just kind of just waiting, which is kind of weird in my opinion.
Is he gonna do the fire thing? I feel like he's. Yep, there he goes. See ya, bucko. Alright, not bad. Got him to the second half. Or second phase, I mean. Fuck, no, I got greedy. Fuck, I got real greedy. Get up. Get up, Mr. Squidward, get up. Fuck, that one always gets me, the fucking overhand. Maybe I'm retarded or something. No! Overhand. I'm gonna start shooting me. Fucking pussy. What a fucking idiot. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, buddy. Okay, I dodged it. I guess I just got a back step for that. 2, 3. No! A back step! Oh my god, he just... Okay, cool. Damn, they cut Navi's here fast. I could just go pick her up and be right back. Let me do one more try. Let me do one more try. She's not far, she's only 6 minutes away. I'll go into Discord. My phone. Bitch ass, come on, let's go. I was giving him the wombo combo there for a second. He's going to do the fire move soon. He hasn't done it yet.
The wombo combo.
Do you know where that's from? The wombo combo?
No, I don't.
It's from a Super Smash Brothers tournament. I think it was Fox versus Falco. It was like an insane combo. I mean, it wasn't called the wombo combo. They were like the commentators just calling it that, and it just stuck. Wombo combo, wombo combo. I mean, it's a good name for a combo.
The wombo combo.
Come on, you bitch, run over here. Come on, run over here. Yeah, there you go. Oh fuck, that was a good combo he did. He gave me his own wombo combo. Fuck. Ah, come on. That was a good stomp, though. Fuck. Okay. Do your fire thing. Fire crouch.
Oh, they changed Scorpion's teleport just enough to kind of fuck with me.
Yeah, they did it just to fuck with you.
No, like just enough. You know what I meant.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant. They did it just for you.
Normally, it'll aggro to the person. So even if I'm like teleporting like high, it would bring me down. Yeah. But this keeps you in the air.
In the position you're in, yeah, the position when you started it. Yeah. Oh fuck. Fuck. There's nothing I can do, Fuck, son of a bitch, I'm on fire. What an asshole. Ran out of potions.
I'm gonna see if I can maneuver my way through on medium right now before I go back to the tutorial. So I'm gonna figure out this tower.
Fuck. Run. Fuck. That thing's so hard to dodge. Just quit running. Get over here. What the fuck? He's doing a rapid fire. Fucking asshole. That's a brand new attack. Oh my god, what a bitch. I just got a feeling he's gonna shoot. Oh my god. I was so close. Alright, I'm gonna pick up Navi. I'll be right back. I'm gonna join the Discord on my phone.
Alright. black and red over here.
Yep, and I'm back.
You should you should put a green screen.
Why? So there's no background?
So that it's all black and red, and you got the right color palette going.
Do you think the framing works that it's just my head, that it's just this, or should I open it up to show my like torso more?
I'd say open it up a little bit.
Now what?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, like everyone's got a different setup for it and stuff like that, and you don't necessarily.
Yeah, but what do you like looking at? You're my only subscriber. You're my only viewer. This is for you.
Oh, well then zoom in on your face. I just want to see your face.
So you can see all my wacky facial reactions, you know?
Yes, go as close as you can. I barely want to see the side of your head.
I'm gonna be doing Telltale Games reaction. You know? Oh fuck! You made me use my my heels. I'm gonna go back.
Make you do anything.
I'm gonna go back. Use my fucking heel on accident.
Holla, holla, holla for $1 coming at me. You know I'm doing anything that you can do in your life coming at me. Holla, holla, holla.
John, do you have any strong opinions about socialism, communism, capitalism, all that jazz?
Do I have strong opinions on it? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Do I think that we're heading towards a totalitarianistic type of interaction? You know,
like
I mean, I can see that being
10
plausible
to 15.
for
Dan gets half of the 15.
countries.
So
in the future.
That's his.
Ethan, this is if we're talking pure theory.
1984, baby. Read that shit when I was like 12, and I was like, "Fuck, this is life."
That still absolutely
it's not
offers
imperfect,
better.
It doesn't work.
Well,
but no, I generally don't have strong views on that stuff.
Gotcha.
Do you though?
No, not strong. No, I've been in the last today and yesterday. I was listening to a debate between capitalism and socialism, and I guess communism pops up in there too in the conversation. Just interesting. Socialism seems to be very much in favor of like a liberal party. All communism is like, I wouldn't say it's conservative at all. It's just people frown on communism. Like, there's just like good points in all sides. Like there's always gonna be something good. It's not gonna be 100% just complete shit. We're gonna have some good points. But I think capitalism is probably the best kind of structure for our economy. I mean, we live in it. That's what we got. So don't really have much.
You don't know how people get paid. How does it even work?
The capitalist structure also is imperfect in the exact same way.
Functioning at least.
Yes, I know, but the idea that like the other structure would not function is not correct. Especially when we're telling you that even under a capitalist organization economy, there's plenty of different ways of doing this. One of the most successful ones that I also have is a cooperative, right? I have a cooperative, collectively organized podcast, for example, where
and I'll
we
let
just
other
split it 5
big
ways regardless.
brains
Obviously, my output in that situation, given that I am
my capacity right now is
the largest audience would
I
significantly outweigh
I don't feel
my
like
producers, for example, who
if I get
could be
invested in
paid
stuff like
with
that,
a
then
very
that just,
fair,
like,
very
takes
fat
up more,
market wage, right?
like,
Market wage
energy.
plus market wage times 3 is what I could pay him, and it would still be
I
significantly less than
want to
what he
be
gets paid
able
now
to
because we're
do what I
cutting it
do
in,
and what I
5 ways.
love,
We're splitting everything 5 ways, and
dwell
that
on
is a
things
perfectly
that I have
viable
no
way to do it
control
because
over.
I think that's very
Just
generous, but I don't
treats
think
me
you
in a
should be
way
forced to
that
do
I'm
that.
not able to
I think that
actually,
I think you should be forced to pay him
Yeah.
what we've determined as a minimum wage where he can live in where he lives in a
So it's like, I mean, like on
I don't
Wednesday
think-
when
I
I
don't
took
think-
off,
it
like, I was
goes
getting
beyond-
calls
it goes
from
beyond wages
parents,
too. It goes
because
beyond
I had
wages as
sent
well.
out
There's
like a
also
long
another
email
aspect
just
of this
about like
that
updates for the
many people
following
fail to
week
consider, which is
and things
decision
of
making.
that sort.
So
And
there's also the structure
and
of
it was a
decision making,
pretty long
the structure
email.
of autonomy. When we are
But then
setting
I
up
told
the
the
time
parents, like,
for
hey,
when we
like,
are going to shoot the podcast, like
so I'm not in the building. There's no practice today, like XYZ. And a few parents took the time to like call me and just like thank me for like all of the shit that I've been doing. And it was like, there was one of the parents, she was like a community organizer. She's on like the alderman committee or whatever the fuck. Like she's like very involved, like a project organizer, and she's just like, I could only imagine what it's like then teaching and then going to rebuild this program and like where you've brought it just within the short time that you've been there.
Yes.
And it was like I was emotional for a moment. Like, I mean, I didn't like show that to her because we were having like it was on the phone. But I did. Yeah. But I did get like, you know, it was emotional for a second because it was like it really does mean like all of the stress and like all of the dumb shit like genuinely is worth it because I am like moving in the right direction and achieving the goals that I am setting for myself. So like it is it's like rewarding, you know. So then if I'm like out here like getting pressed about someone's fucking comment or whatever, then it's just like why dwell on that shit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not just with like a political like concept. Like there's like, I mean, it applies to other things too, but it's just a political. Yeah.
Have you come across the situation where you gotta address somebody by different pronouns?
Absolutely, yes.
And how do you handle that?
I just accommodate.
Has a teacher like, not a teacher, a parent gotten to you about like not doing a pronoun thing?
No, because I do it. There's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I did have students my first year and she was a she then she was a they, then she's a she, and it's like, I mean, I understand the fluidity and the nature of it, but then it's like if I make a misstep, like don't be upset. You know what I mean? Like you were like you're going through transitions and you're not my student now, so if I make like a mistake, and like that was a conversation I had at the beginning of the year where they were like, Mr. Esparza, she's a she, and I was just like, because I was saying they, and I was like, well, that's an update for me, so thank you, you know, like, and then they're like, oh yeah, no, you're right, like that did, like they made that change or she made that change over the summer, like then it becomes fucking convoluted and confusing.
What's your opinion about the whole gender spectrum thing?
I mean, generally, that should be a decision that person makes when they are at an age to be able to understand those concepts. I don't necessarily agree with like educating children at a very young age about that stuff. You know, 4-year-olds think that they're princesses and kings and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you influence that, then that becomes
what they believe,
their lifestyle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you need to be able to create an environment where they're able to make those mistakes and choices for themselves without your bias. And it is hard because everyone's biased.
Yes.
But then thinking about like what is best for that child. Like you can have certain views, like you can be a they them, you can be gay, you can be whatever you fucking want. But as soon as you start putting those views onto your child, and then you are vicariously living through your child.
Yes.
And that's not good parenting. At least in my opinion. So I do agree with like, hey, like do whatever you want to do. I don't agree with parents like, so from that generation that are now old enough to have kids that are pressing that shit on their children.
Okay,
and
so
then
you're telling me a lot of it about like an educational like teacher standpoint. I mean,
no,
like,
that's my standpoint.
No, well, I mean like more as a in a personal sense of like, do you even believe that that's a real thing? Like, do you believe that people actually internally feel neither like a woman or a male and want to, and not only want to, but need to be addressed as a specific certain different pronoun? Like, what's the necessity in it? What's the validity in it?
I mean, like, and at that point, I don't get it. But like, I mean, hey, if that's like their reality, like, I mean, hey, let's play the charade. Like,
yeah. I mean, I say like, there's like no reason not to abide by their like pronouns. They want to have pronouns. That's fine. But like your example with the student of like, oh, this year they were this, like, next year they're that, this year they're this. Like, okay, you're bullshit. That's just bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you like the idea that like you want to be addressed by a certain pronoun because that's what you feel comfortable with, but you're constantly changing it, is that you're not comfortable with any pronoun. So like, just pick one and just stick to it.
And it's it's just like, I don't know. Oh, fuck, I had something, but I forgot. But no, it just becomes like convoluted and
extremely.
It's not an ideal situation. I have, like, last year I actually was practicing on just speaking with they them holistically, so I didn't run into situations.
So everybody's a they them?
So I just refer to them and like just like as if, like, I don't know, like I don't know.
Like, were you referring to everybody as they them?
I'm just like that was something I was doing last year because I did have a lot of like because I mean then I'm just speaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
how common is it? Like, how common are you changing different pronouns for people? Like, addressing people with different pronouns?
I interact with kids every day that are gonna do that.
Yeah, but like, let's say, like, give me a percentage. Do you think you give me a percentage? Or like, how many of your students are like not tied to their biological pronoun?
5 to 10 every year so far.
10%?
5 to 10 kids, which actually, okay.
That's still a lot.
Just under 10%.
That's still a good amount. God damn.
And then I know those kids, and then those are kids I interact with, and then I get new kids that abide by different shit and all that other stuff. The one conversation I have brought up before when we talk about it, because the kids will bring that shit up too in class.
Of course, yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, obviously, and it's a pretty like similar conversation without like the bluntness, I guess you could say. I guess I would say it in so many words, but still get the same effect as to like what we were just talking about. But then I kind of like we bring up this idea of sports, and then it's like, well, then what is your opinion on that? And it's like, do you think it's fair for a swimmer that placed 200th in the world then goes into swimming and is breaking women's records as a woman?
Yeah, would you be in a position where you would have to put a trans man that is a woman now into your team? Is that something that is possible to happen to you?
If it happens, then hey, like I'm gonna do it, but like at the same time, like there is a physiological difference. It's very much a physical like advantage that men have, like in multiple ways, like muscle mass, bone density, our center of gravity is different. We're structurally different.
So you do it, but you don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it on a professional level.
Okay. How do you feel about it, like, morally?
Morally? Well, I mean, like, my morals are more so wrapped around, like, you know, doing better for the youth. And if that's better for the youth, then I'm about it.
Okay, let me stop you there, because you're saying it's better for the youth. It's better for that one youth, but what about the other people in that team? Like they're like her teammates. You know, they probably feel diminished. Like they probably feel uncomfortable.
I'm actually curious what my school's policy on that is now. You know, that would be a thing. Like where like there is this girl who is genetically a boy, and she is one of the managers for the volleyball team.
Oh, really?
I don't know if she actually plays on the volleyball team, but if she wanted to like swim, like I don't even know how that would operate for swim because it's different attire.
Yeah.
You know,
would that manager be allowed in the women's locker room?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't imagine they'd be allowed in the swimming pool with women too, right? Like that's not, or on the team. If they're not gonna press for the locker room boundary, I don't think the team boundary is gonna be. I think they drew the line already there with the bathroom. You know, I think that shows their stance, their school stance. You know.
Yeah.
As far as their rules go, I mean.
Because I mean, there's not like an all genders locker room. There are all genders like bathrooms. That's a thing, but there's
in the school.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But not all gender locker rooms.
How do you Okay, so going back to the moral decision. You're telling me, you know, for whatever is the betterment for the students, But how are you dictating whose betterment is better than who? How are you prioritizing? You know, like people's quality of living. Like again, like the one student who's now a trans woman wants to be in the women's league, or the rest of the team members that feel like it's unfair and they don't want to compete with her. Who are you prioritizing there?
Well, at that point, it's more so of providing the experience, and they don't necessarily need to have an impact on what happens. So it's like, then for me as a coach, I would make that decision where it's like, yeah, no, you can come and you can swim, and you can be a part of the girls' team, but like you're swimming exhibitions. So then they're able to have that experience, but then it doesn't alter the actual like base of competition.
Interesting. So like basically you're competing, but like your record's off the record?
Their record would be on the record, but it just wouldn't impact the final decision of the meets.
Okay.
Because they're mainly individual events, so then she just wouldn't be able to do relays.
Gotcha.
Because because we can have a relay exhibition, but I mean, generally speaking, you want to have, like, if you have enough kids to swim 3 relay, like, fucking teams, okay. Like, goddamn, you got a lot of swimmers.
But
the max.
So I feel like we kind of lost the thread a little bit because we started going, we went from pronouns to trans, which, like, I think those two things are exclusively different. Like,
oh yeah.
I think okay, so like, tell me if you agree with this, but I feel like the T and LGBT has taken like its own movement separate from like gay rights, not trans rights, obviously trans rights, but like gay rights and trans rights are completely two different like arguments, you know?
Oh yes.
And it kind of it starts to dilute where like even pronouns, that's a whole separate argument from like gay rights, trans rights, all that. Like that's not even rights. Like you're not missing out on any rights. I don't think like people with specific pronouns are missing out on any rights whatsoever. So I don't think they have that worry at all, unless I'm wrong. But I haven't heard that argument before. But yeah, no, I think the whole pronoun thing is just fucking stupid. I think it's just dumb. I think it's useless. I like if like imagine for a second if like people at your school just refer to you as she, or like, you know, Mrs. Esparza or whatever, or Miss Esparza. Like, how much would that actually impact you or affect you? You know?
I mean, it would, like, I would be just like, oh, well, that's kind of dumb. And then, like, if it was consistent, I'd be like, I guess this is life.
Yeah, but like exactly, like it doesn't, it wouldn't affect you that much or that drastically that it's a necessity, you know?
There's a teacher at the school that goes by mix, like the they them proper term would be mix, like an MX.
Oh, weird.
So we have Mixed Mural.
Mixed Mural?
They're a wonderful woman. See, I get like, and then that's the other thing where it's like it's hard because the presentation component of it as well.
Yeah, because you just referred to her as a woman right now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I'm like realizing.
So you're a bigot.
I mean, hey, we all make mistakes.
No, you're a bigot. Woohoo, perfect block. Good shit.
Ouch. But yeah, no, they're super nice, very helpful, wonderful person, and it's nothing, you know, nothing bad at all. But it's sometimes I'll just I won't think, you know, and they have a feminine
presentation. Yeah. Well, you know, another argument I heard about this is that really in general, we're always going by presentation. We're never ever like checking to make sure that the person we're like talking to, even a standard she, he, is a she, he. We're just always going off presentation. And that's just how life has always been. So I don't think it's like a knock or like wrong for any human being to ever just assume someone's gender by their presentation, because that's just how it's always been, and that's how it's always going to continue to be. Like, I've never seen your dick, John. I've never seen your dick, so I don't know that you're for sure a guy. I'm just, you know, the way we talk, the way we, you know, the way you present yourself. Just assume you're a guy, and I've been correct. Yeah. That's it.
I just have a really long vagina.
You're like a doll. You're just smooth down there.
Oh Jesus. Oh God.
Yeah, gender's crazy. I think the fact that we even have these kind of arguments about genders and stuff like that means that we're such a privileged country.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking nuts. And the other thing though is that like it's hard. It's like crazy because how hard it is for people to be able to have an actual conversation about it, rather than
an emotionally biased conversation the entire time.
And then it turns into something that's not critical. And to be able to have critical analysis of any topic, you need to be able to have multiple opinions on it. And for a final conclusion to be made, it can't just be made from one point of view.
Yes.
And that's why, like, you know, in art, when you critique, it's like you have the artist's point of view, which is the intended view. But then you have the audience perception, which doesn't make it any less valid, but it needs to be taken into consideration. And like, although the artist may have that standpoint, the audience view around the actual piece, like, is a discussion. You know what I mean? And be able to have that space for constructive, like, analysis.
You know, just like how I don't know how familiar you are with it, but like a lot of colleges, when they have a presentational speaker that's like coming up or like having like has an event coming up to the campus, a lot of students will like protest to like they'll protest to like not go to school or something along the lines of like fighting against it so that they won't be welcome in open arms. Like if Ben Shapiro was like gonna have a TED talk on the campus or some shit, you know, like Jordan Peterson, shit like that. People will go, students will go out of their way to like protest it so that like the school would kind of have to fold and like cancel the event that they had with that person. And it's kind of shitty because like out of all places in the world to allow this kind of, you should allow any kind of open discussion would be an academic facility like that, right? Because that's where like you'd get the most most I don't know how to explain it.
Diverse.
Well, like you get the most benefit from having the conversation on a school campus than you would anywhere else, because you'd actually get like critical thinking done, not just like stupid ass arguments online, you know, like on Twitch or YouTube or some shit, you know. Like at least on the campus, you'll have people with actual intellect giving actual criticism, thinking things actually through, and like coming to like more of an understanding about it instead of just like completely shutting the ideas away.
What was that one dude's name? He was the white guy that would go onto campuses with the tables and the signs.
Yeah, change my mind or some shit. Like,
yeah.
I think it was a dude from not Barstool. Fuck, what am I thinking of? It was some conservative podcast. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, no, well, I'm seeing his face, but I don't know his name. Well, I'm not seeing it. I'm like thinking of it, and I know it clearly, but I just can't think of his name.
Steven Crowder. Is it Steven Crowder?
Yeah, Crowder. Yeah.
Yeah, his things were good too. I don't agree with his perspectives, but like if you're gonna have that conversation anywhere, it should be with like academics, right? Like, wouldn't that be the people to talk about it with? Why would the idea that academics are willing to comfortably shun away ideas that they don't agree with is insane. Like, you should be challenging those ideas. You're confident in your own ideas that you would be able to convince the other person or the other party of your thought process of why you believe what you believe is correct and why they're wrong, instead of just completely shutting it down. That's the one place where you should be having those conversations. It's just crazy. Just crazy.
I don't want to go to the suburbs anymore, but I kind of low-key have to.
Tell her to Uber Eats it to you.
I mean, I could.
tell her to get an Uber and put the cookies in the Uber and like, you know, have it dropped off.
Muffins, pumpkin muffins.
Tell the Uber driver, carry these with you with your life. Send them with your life. Try one, you know, fuck it, since you're driving anyway, try one. But yeah, deliver them to this guy, please.
Oh, but no, that's like an in-person thing I gotta do for.
Yeah, I get you. Out of respect.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck! This dude hit me super fucking hard. He's only halfway through. I'm fucked. Bro, this is... I'm like still in the beginning of the game. This is still like maybe the second or third boss.
Yeah, I watched someone beat it the other day.
You told me. You told me about that. I like how you just keep throwing it in my face.
Isn't good? I mean, it was also the dude who plays Dark Souls for a living. So
Like, fuck that guy. What a nerd. Get some bitches, man.
Lobos,
Get some maidens. Get some maidens.
Michael Villalobos.
Michael is local, more like it.
Oh. Yeah, no, I've like been subscribed. I've like, I don't know. I just have like the one of the like badges for what would it be? How many years is that? 1, 2, 3. Like I have a badge for 5 years of months subscribed. So whenever I go in the chat and I drop like a hey, like he always goes, oh hey John Esparza, and like and the chat says hey back to. And it's like it's just like a good feeling because I don't
well known in the community.
I mean I'm in his Discord and everything too.
Oh
like,
shit, damn.
But
you're basically like his right hand man.
Not at all. But it's just a vibe. But I also don't like regularly subscribe. My subscriptions the last few months have been like gifted. So. I still
deserve it. You're a super fan.
Yeah, I wonder how it actually picks the people. Like, because when you do like a gifted sub, like there has to be some type of like RNG or this fucking algorithm that picks you.
Fuck.
Oh, dude. So actually, Insanity today. We had a guest speaker.
Matt Walsh.
At the beginning of oh dude, that's a fat rat.
I thought you were gonna say you had Matt Walsh as a guest speaker.
Oh no, but it was an artist that was that really works with AI, and he really explained well what like AI generated stuff looks like behind the veil, and like broke it down into like how do we apply this to art? What is the conversation with AI and art? How do I make artwork? How does it become a part of the process and not a like input output? How do we fine tune it and like all of these other things? And it was like a really good conversation to have. And I should have asked a fucking question, but I didn't. But we talked about how we use AI to make like images, sound, and video, but how like does this apply to like a 3-dimensional space? And that was something that I was thinking about. But in general, like it's just math, man. It's all just math. Like it's just insane. Like I'm not gonna sit here and like explain the whole thing because it actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's really complicated to explain without visuals.
So you're done talking about genders. You moved on to AI.
I mean, that's the same topic, right? Like, I mean, AI is the future.
Yeah, what are we gonna what are we gonna refer to AI as? You know, they?
They that, bro.
You think so?
Master. That's what we'll refer to. Give it like 10, 15 years. They'll enslave the world.
Can't wait.
But generally speaking, like, there are like, it's essentially just a really big algorithm that you put like data into. So when you put data into something, it has so many inputs. And when we look at something like DALL-E, which is like an image generator, an AI generator, and it has over 1 million data point entries that like you are like when you put something in, it goes through essentially this circuit board of like of just equations to be able to get a result. It's essentially just a really, really, really big algorithm, and that like discerns differences, and along each of the stops, like it and then you get this result. You can also add on the end of it an analysis of the results. So like let's say I'm putting in an image of a frog and I want the AI to be able to tell me that it's an image of a frog. So 100 like 90 like 7 times out of 100 it'll tell me it's a frog, but it'll land on other things as well. But then if it's like only coming out as 50% reading it as a frog, you can go back into those different like stopping points for the actual data to be able to adjust and fine tune what it is. So like you can create AI algorithms that are something that like are specific for you and your aesthetic and what you want. So there's different communities that generate different algorithms, and you're able to get them on this kind of open source thing. Fucking something fusion. I can't even remember. I have it written down in my notes.
Transfusion.
But like you're able to share different generators that have different aesthetics to them. And the way that it's developing, even if we go from a DALL-E 2 to DALL-E 3, which is releasing in a few months, there's been example images of it that have been released from DALL-E 2 to DALL-E 3, and it's a dramatic difference as far as completeness in the actual work, and just like the ability to generate like the subject matter based off of like text inputs and stuff. It's very interesting stuff. Definitely something to think about.
Yeah, I gotta write we're doing a project on like, it's a presentation, it's a like I guess an argumentative essay about the benefits and the disadvantages of AI. So it's supposed to be 10 pages long, something like that. It's supposed to be a presentation of at least minimal 9 slides, I think. I don't know, some stupid ass nerd shit.
AI has also like been involved in like a lot of other stuff, as
like
far
lawsuits
as,
and racketeering schemes.
Yeah, so it's involved in like a judicial setting.
It's actually
involved in a medical setting, where it's diagnosing, where it's giving out sentences. That's like a real thing. So like if you're like talking about like social impact of AI, you can look into the applications in medicine, the applications
holy shit, this
and
guy.
the applications in art and social culture, which are 3 huge components of like, you know, life. There's your there's your 9 pages. Do a little intro page, do 3 pages on each of those topics, and then write a concluding statement on your last page, and then fucking throw that shit into a slideshow.
Source: PSN, J. Fespar. Oh, fucking shit. I'm getting so tired of fighting this guy. Like, I actually just want to go do something else. Like, I actually hate this man.
You're just upset.
A little bit. So I can do something else. I'm tired of this.
Oh, you summoned someone!
Yeah, this idiot, he just runs in and dies so fast. I just gotta get as many hits as possible while he's still, while he's distracted, basically. Look, can't dodge to save his life. Look at him. He's
100%. Like I 100% think you can do this.
I know I can.
You just need to take it slow.
No. Look, I already got him to a third of his life.
That's not a third.
Yes, it is.
That's almost a third.
Fuck. He's setting on fire.
But his health is also probably increased because you had a something.
He regenerates that little grayed out part.
Yeah, so fuck him up. Come on.
I want to, but look at how crazy he is. Look at him spinning. Like he's Sonic. Like he's gonna do it again.
Don't you have a dash?
Nope.
I thought you had a special move with this weapon that was like a dash.
I do, but like it's too long to charge up and it doesn't reach that far. So I'd rather just run to him.
Okay.
And plus I get more hits with the light attack. Fuck, how did that hit me? But I haven't healed once, so I still got all 4 of my flasks. Fuck, dude, I can't fucking block that attack to save my goddamn life.
You can't back, you gotta go right.
Run away from this man. Get over here.
Fuck him up. He's been at that same range for a minute.
Fuck. Yes. Missed.
Look at that. Look at that dodge to the right.
Damn it.
Look at that dodge to the right. Look at that other dodge to the right. See, you're dodging to the right.
Oh god, oh god. Fuck. Shit. Set me on fire. Fucking bitch. His fire attacks fucked me up too. Fuck. Ah, that last one got me. Oh my god!
I'm telling you, if you just circle him, it'll be so much better than backing up and going in. Just gotta stay on his right.
Okay, got it.
Because he will readjust to like face you most of the time. You know what I mean? So if you're constantly at a different angle, then he needs to adjust. Also, if you are farther away, that prompts him to do different attacks. So then those like larger AoE ones. Well, also if you do enough damage, then he'll do that after X amount of damage. If the bosses are set up the same way as they are in Souls games.
Okay, I got it. Man, I'm hungry. Fuck you. Yeah, bitch. He's gonna get a fire attack soon. Yep, there he goes. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Fuck. Oh god. Damn.
I just sent Merc a request to join. I wanna fight him. I wanna lose.
Damn. Let's see if this does any.
I'm doing a ranked match.
Good.
I think I just tried a different character. So I did Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Raiden. Sub-Zero's pretty solid. Scorpion's the timing is just a little different and his moves are just different. And I just like played a little bit with Raiden, and Raiden seems to have that pacing I want. I just got fucked up. I got fucked up.
Oh, come on.
Solid.
Fuck! Oh, I almost had him! No, I'm gonna switch things up. I know what to do. I know what to do, John. It all makes sense to me now. I can see the numbers. Just the numbers.
Slaughtered. I just got slaughtered.
Got it, John. I found the secret. Found what I gotta do.
What's up, David?
I found out what I gotta do to win.
Oh, so are you beating that boss?
Yep, I got him. Don't worry.
Oh. You probably got me. Yeah. I don't know how this didn't hit though. Actually, I kind of wanted to see what it was. Oh, you got me.
Fuck.
I thought his poison ball would fuck me up. I thought I would die from that. You got me! Oh, that's pretty brutal. God, Reptile this is such a good version of Reptile, honestly.
He's an actual reptile, right? I mean, he's always been a reptile, no?
He was like, so initially he was just a color swap and he was green, right? Yeah. And then they added like transformation in like on the second iteration that he was in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And then he did at some point just turn into a straight up lizard. But this version is like a lizard that is able to transform into human, and he wants to be human, so he stays in a human form, and then transforms like into the lizard. You know what I mean? So it's definitely like my favorite iteration of him, like in a long time.
Fuck! Dun.
You made a forever fly.
I think I know what to do, John. Maybe. We'll see.
I know my way around.
Humana.
That's such a funny interaction. Like someone was on Resurgence and they killed someone out of the air because he was gliding in, and they killed in the kill chat. It was like, I was taking a dab, you asshole. I was taking a dab. Like.
Speaking of taking a dab, you quit smoking?
Yeah, I'm done. I quit smoking.
Okay, then. Never mind. Fuck. 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 I died. That's awesome. That's so fucking cool.
Oh, you're still on this boss, man? I thought you finished this shit up.
Yeah. Me too.
Killing me. Ugh.
I was trying to kill him, not you.
I'm dying. It's a side effect from you not getting good.
Don't worry, we're getting good. Fuck.
Such a deviant.
What?
There were hoodies that were available for people that were at the workshop today, and it's the first time they've had like hoodies. Like I have like an SAIC hoodie, which is like, you know, generally speaking, college hoodies are expensive. You know, they're not like cheap. And I like to have an XL which fits, right? Like that's like it actually fits. And then a double XL that has a lot of space and I can like lounge in it.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if I'm going for a fitted look or like a baggy look, and my ass takes one of each.
You're an asshole.
I'm that guy. Man, go on. Just play smart. This is it.
John.
Don't fail me now.
John.
We're at the end. Good. Nice right dodge.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Should not have been that hard. He's not even like a main boss or anything. Jesus.
Yeah, you were doing good damage. You just needed to learn the moves a little bit. You know?
Okay, you gotta learn the moves. What did I get? He gave me something. I just don't know what. Whatever. Whatever. Where do I go? This way? No, this way. Right here. This is where I go. Jesus Christ, dude. It took me 2 hours to beat that. Not even. It took me 2 hours right now in this sitting. But, like, I've been trying for, like, 2 days now. Jesus Christ. Okay, what do we got here? Did he not give me a weapon? I could have sworn he gave me a weapon. I guess not.
Because he was that much of a bitch, and you took forever on him. Come on.
Oh, like, am I actually holding these things and that's causing me to be heavier? I wonder. Let me see.
Yes, your equip load for sure. Well, actually, no. It's I would imagine it's not anything that's in your bag. It's what's on your actual like right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It still says slightly heavy. Oh, never mind. Never mind. None of that fucking mattered. What's the point of putting it in there? What's the point of putting stuff in my storage then?
Well, no, it's your storage doesn't affect your equip load.
No, I know. So what's the point of putting stuff in my storage? Is what I said.
You don't want to have like, I mean, just in general, like a place to organize shit, and also like generally like there are tactics to where you do go into the menu and do use consumables and stuff during a fight. If you don't have enough slots like to equip or something of that nature. And when you have a bunch of stuff like not like in storage and it's just in your bag or whatever, then like you have to like rifle through all that stuff. So getting rid of stuff that you don't like use regularly, having a place to organize it, and then having your own bag organized well. So like how many things can you hold on you at a time? Was that 4?
Oh, I don't know.
There might be more than 4 things that you want to use when you're making a build or something, you know. At least that would be, you know, that's my idea behind it.
Let me go level up. Talk to Geppetto. Let's get this capacity up so I can stop being so heavy. Still fucking heavy. Whatever.
I am Ape. I inherited the power. Now you are the only one my voice reaches.
No records. I don't have any quartz. Fuck. Geppetto's bitch ass. What's up, pedophile?
It is not surprising that some puppets broke away. I remember a few ergo puppets behaving according to their own volition before. That wasn't our intention. They were never designed. But if a puppet starts acting on its own, does that mean the puppet has free will?
Juice going? Where the fuck did he go?
Where the fuck did my juice go?
Like black, keep it a stack.
All right, I think I'm heading out.
Glad to see you made it back in one piece, my friend.
His butler's alive? I just saw him dead.
Buongiorno, and welcome to the House of Venini. I am Master Venini's Major Domo, Alcinella, at your service, sir.
Alright, I'm out of here. I'll be back in a bit, though.
Okay, sounds good, brother. Take care.
Later.
Yeah.
And distinguished provenance. I am certain you will be able to find something that suits you, sir. At the House of Venini, even priceless things have a price. Every item is a treasure of distinguished quality.
There you are, without the factory. But listen to me going on and on about my concerns, and I don't believe I've even introduced myself. Signor Lore, if the name Venigni rings no bells, perhaps you've heard of Kratz, Prince of High Society. That is because they are one and the same. While I sincerely believe meeting Venigni is its own reward, I have not rewarded you in the more traditional manner. It's a grinder stone that keeps granting special... Then my eyes do not... You are. I will also add what... I always welcome friends.